Hello, everyone. Welcome back to St. Louis Teens, and welcome back to our series on Champions for Teens, featuring lawmakers and leaders working with teens in their community. We are here today with Mayor Jim Bowlin of the city of Wildwood, Missouri. Congratulations on your recent re-election, Mayor Bowlin. We appreciate your efforts to expand high-speed internet across access to our rural communities and for strengthening our greenery. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Mayor Bowlin, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what inspired you to go into public service, and how has your journey been like?
Well, I never really planned to be in public office. I tell people that I'm an accidental politician. That's what I call it. I just happened to be at a place in our city's history where it beckoned, and when duty calls, you take it, and so that's what I did. So that's really how I got involved. That happened in 2014 when I became a council member from Ward 6. We have 8 wards, and so I'm from Ward 6, and then I spent 2 years there, and then in 2016 was elected to my first term as mayor, and then, as you just mentioned, I think re-elected this last June for another 4-year term. So.
Well, Mayor Bowlin, thank you so much for your service, and we're so happy that you have been reelected. Can you share with us your most favorite part of the job as a mayor? And I know it can be difficult, but if you had to sort of pick one thing.
Well, if I had to pick one thing, it's that I get to help people, and you can do that quickly, and I enjoy helping people. And whether it's something that they as simple as fixing something on the, getting something fixed on their street, to expanding rural internet for hundreds of residents. They're both good, and I just like to help people.
And Mayor Bowlin, you prioritize education and schools and volunteer as a guest lecturer for government at Lafayette High School.
I do.
What is one of the most memorable moments from your various interactions that you have had with teens and youth?
Well, I think probably the most memorable moment is just those one or two instances when you can just tell as the lecturer, usually during a question and answer session, which I do after each lecture, one or more of those students, you can tell they're about to get the bug and maybe go into politics someday, and that's to help people, and that's something that's very, very rewarding.
And as you've said, you are a guest lecturer at Lafayette High School, and you are involved with teens and youth in your community. How do you think that more policymakers, leaders, and members of Congress can be more interactive with teens in their community and develop rich and meaningful partnerships with them?
Well, I would say there's really, the best way is simply putting yourself out there to have interaction with the people that you work for, who put you in office, and whether that's being a guest lecturer, to meet high school students, or having a monthly coffee with the mayor where any resident can come and get access and get their questions answered or make their concerns known, or going to subdivision meetings, which I do regularly. Those are things that are important, and really I think the best way for a leader to get an understanding and keep an understanding, frankly, of what the people who put him or her in office are expecting.
And now, one thing that has really hurt the nation as a whole is the COVID-19 pandemic, which has posed unprecedented challenges to our society and to our leaders. And in order for a city to manage the pandemic effectively, not only does the city government need to manage it effectively and manage its own city, but it also needs to work well in conjunction with other levels of government. Mayor Bowlin, you've done a great job in governing Wildwood through the COVID-19 pandemic in a very effective and efficient manner. What have been your keys to success during these times?
I think the biggest key to success there are actually two things. The first thing is when you have a situation like this, I think it's important to not panic and to look at the facts and as they are presented, the lay of the land, get an understanding of the situation that you're presented with, and then take the time to reflect on what you have learned, gather your group of experts that you need, in this case, whether it's medical or otherwise, and make informed decisions in a way that is methodical and thought through. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to make sure that as part of government, that what you're doing is in fact based on science and not based on what I think most people would call politics. And yes, we're in politics, but in a moment like this, it's important that we make sure that, you know, the wearing of masks or the social distancing or whatever the requirement is has in fact science behind it. And that is particularly the case when you are implementing things that affect people's freedom and their state of independence.
And in your opinion, Mayor Bowlin, what is the post-pandemic outlook for the future, particularly for teens, be it in terms of education, jobs, or the economy, and how can we be more prepared?
You know, history or the future is very difficult to predict. In fact, it's impossible until it becomes history. So obviously, I would just be guessing. But you know, I'll just tie it back to you know, my time at Lafayette High School. I can't stress enough the importance to get education, formal education and informal education, but certainly from a formal standpoint. You know, whether that is going to college, going to graduate school, it's fun to learn, and that's something that no one can ever take away from you. And regardless of the field of study that you initially pursue, or the degree that you get, or where you get it from, or how long it takes you to get it, it's amazing when you look back and you can see the different paths that education will open for you. So that is the one thing that I would stress.
And it's wonderful that our nation, even during the COVID-19 pandemic and schools having to close physically, was still able to offer education virtually and through other forms to students who this education is so important to.
Right.
Mayor Bowlin, thank you so much for investing your time and resources in our teens and the value that they bring to our country and our future.
Well, thank you, Sri.
And thank you so much for your time today and answering all of our questions.
You're welcome anytime. You have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Sri.